So in the previous class, we have discussed about certain definitions. Today we will be looking into sources. Sources. Are the letters visible clearly? Anybody?
No, sir.
Visibility is very poor.
It's in the corners, sir, that recording.
No, no. At this point. At this point. So 1 second. So this is voltage source. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
And current source. So when we talk about sources, we have two types of sources in the electric circuit. One is voltage source and other is current source. There is no any other type of source, because if I consider power source, when voltage is built in a voltage source and when I close the circuit, okay, then the current flows in that circuit, automatically power dissipation occurs. Say for example, I have a voltage source here. I will keep a switch and I have some load. Okay? I have some load. Let this be load. Let this be V. Now, as long as this switch S is open, the current will not flow in the circuit. And we know that P is equals to V into I, or I square into R, or V square by R. Okay? So slightly we need to think on these equations. So for example, V square by R doesn't have the term current. So from this third equation, we may wrongly think that if there is a voltage and if there is resistance, then there can be a power dissipation or power existence in the system. Okay, but if I see these first two equations, we need current. No doubt, this third equation came from the Ohm's law when I applied with I is equal to V by R in first equation. Okay, but in this equation of power, it appears that there is no current term coming in. Therefore, power can be present even when there is only voltage and resistance. Now there is voltage, there is resistance. Will there be power across resistance when the switch S is open? Yes? When the switch S is open, will there be power across resistor? Anybody?
No, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
why? In this equation of power, there is no current term, but still there is power existing. So with respect to this equation, can I say that there is some power across the load? Yes? Let us take it as RL, V square by RL. That is not possible. Why? Because this voltage V is the voltage present across that resistor, not the source voltage. This equation will appear same only when there is only one resistor and one source in the circuit. If I give you some other circuit, this is V, let this be R1, and now this be RL. Now if I want to write P is equals to V square by RL. Now this V is not the source voltage, but it is the load voltage. VL square by RL. Is it? So likewise, it is the voltage across the load, not the source voltage. This equation remains same as source voltage only when there is only one component and there is only one source. So ultimately, I have two types of sources in the circuit: voltage source and current source. Okay, voltage source and current source. But when we see uh, particularly, the types of source, we have only voltage source. Current source is always built using voltage source. If I connect a resistor across my voltage source, that will start giving out a constant current. That combination will start giving out constant current, and that combination I call it as current source. But when we see practically, all the sources are voltage sources. Okay, most of the sources are voltage sources. Even when I want to realize current source, I realize current source using voltage source only. Okay, so the very fundamental source in any electric network or circuit is voltage source. From that I derive current source, so I categorize one more source as current source. Okay, so in any electric circuit, I have either voltage source or current source, or I have both. There can be voltage source, there can be current source. Now, what is the definition of source? Source is one which is giving out the power. Any amount of work has to be done in a particular circuit. If any element that is giving the necessary energy to do that work in that circuit is a source. So in this circuit, battery is a source. In this circuit, battery is a source. We have a biological circuit. We are a biological circuit. Now, what is the source for our energy? The source for our energy is food. The fundamental source for our energy is food. So food is a source. And when we eat the food, various parts of our body will gain some amount of energy, and those body parts will start giving out the energy that is necessary to do certain work. Okay, the energy is stored in various forms in our body. So likewise, in electric circuit, the energy can be stored in various forms depending upon what type of energy storage elements are present in the circuit. Now, if only resistors are present, then energy storage is not possible. Now, if there is inductor and capacitor, energy storage is possible. Okay, but to store energy in the energy storage devices, I need some source, and that is the fundamental source, voltage source or a current source. Okay, so these are the two elements in the circuit, okay, that will supply the necessary energy to do the work. Examples, if I want to give the examples, okay, the very simple, I have one battery here. Okay, it is a DC source. I have generator or alternator. It is AC source. Okay, so whatever the power supply I am getting in this room, in your house, everywhere, it is actually generated in real time, and I am getting it. AC cannot be stored. Okay, unfortunately, we cannot store AC. Hence, if I have to utilize AC, I should generate there and then only. Okay, one more source in the small electronic circuits. In small electronic circuits, one more source is oscillators. Okay, oscillators. Okay, these are source of, again, small AC signals. Okay, you can call function generators. Oscillators and function generators are same. Okay, function generator is a special case of oscillator. Generator is also an oscillator, but I don't call generator as an oscillator because the power quantity what I use here is huge, and in oscillators the power quantity what I use is very small. Okay, so energy densities are very much different here. The energy density of generator is very high, and the energy density of oscillator is very low. Okay, so there are different names, but generally both are doing the same work. They are continuously generating signals, voltage signals. Okay, so these are the various examples of sources. Okay, we can categorize these sources into further two types. I can categorize these sources as dependent sources and independent sources. Dependent sources and independent sources. Okay, the name themselves will suggest. If the source value is dependent on something else, that is a dependent source. If the source value is independent of anything, that is independent source. But dependency and independency on what? Whether internal quantity or external quantity, internal parameter or external parameter. Now, if I take a generator, or in case a battery, which is very commonly used independent source, battery is an independent source. But if I look into the energy availability of the battery, is it really independent? From nowhere I am not getting energy in the battery. The charge in the battery is from nowhere. It is because of the electrolytic process that is happening in the battery. Any type of battery I may be using. There is some chemical process happening in that battery. Because of that, the source value is there. Okay. So if I say a battery of 1.5 volts, that magnitude of chemical process is happening in that device. Hence, I can call this battery as a voltage source. But there is a dependency of this source value on the chemical process. But we are not talking about these kind of dependencies. Here, we are not talking about these kind of dependencies. Here, dependent sources means if the source value of the source, if the value of the source is depending upon the quantity across any other element in the same circuit. Now, suppose I have so many elements in the circuit. First, we will see independent source. Then we will come to dependent source. Okay. So, independent source, I can say source value is independent of any other circuit element parameter. Any other circuit element parameter. Okay. So parameters of circuit elements are the circuit element values or the voltage across that element or current through that element. These are the parameters. Now, opposite to independent sources, the source value depends on other circuit element parameters of same circuit. Yeah, other circuit element parameters of the same circuit or in the same circuit. Okay. So now I will draw a simple circuit here. Let me take a exact value, say 10 ohms, 5 ohms, 10 volts and 50 volts. That is the 8 ohms. Okay. So irrespective of the quantities I choose in the circuit, the voltage values of these two sources will not change. That is battery. We all know about this. Okay. Uh, even when if you see a completely almost discharged battery, if you take a small 1.5 volt battery, double A or triple A batteries, all are 1.5 volts. Even when that battery is completely worn out, you just check the voltage across it. The voltage value might have decreased by a very small amount. Instead of getting 1.5 volts, I may get 1.3 volts. Though there is voltage value present across it, it cannot supply power to the circuitry because the current handling capacity have been lost. Whatever the chemical we are using in that battery, it has completely deteriorated. It has completely discharged. There are no further charges available, okay, to make the charge moment in the circuit. That is flow of current. But the potential difference is almost same. So a battery is characterized by a voltage value which will remain constant throughout. So this is called an independent voltage source. It is an independent voltage source because the value of source value of this battery is independent of anything else. It is independent of anything else. So this is called independent source. Now instead of 5 ohms, if I make it 15 ohms, then also the value of this battery or the source V1 and source V2 will not change from 15 and 10 volts. Even if I make it 1 or 15 kilo ohms, the values will not change. If I make it as 10 mega ohms, the values will not change. Okay? So with the change in any circuit element, if the source values are not changing, that source is called an independent source. That source is called as independent source. Then what is a dependent source? Dependent source is one. If the circuit parameters change, the value of that source change. If the circuit parameters change, then the value of that source change. Now, for example, I will take a similar circuit. We will see how dependent sources and independent sources are represented on board or on paper. Okay, that we'll look into. Now I will take a current source. Let current source also feel that it is important. Okay, now let this be V1, say of 10 volts. This is say 10 ohms. This is say 8 ohms. Okay. Let the current in 10 ohms be say I. Or let the voltage across 10 ohms be Vx. Let the voltage across 10 ohms be Vx. Okay. Let this be a voltage source, a dependent source, and if I take this as 2 into Vx. Okay. There was a shine on that dependent part. Okay, so I adjusted myself. Now, if you observe this voltage source, the source value of this dependent source is not on its own. It is depending upon the value of voltage across 10 ohms. Now, what is the value of voltage across 10 ohms? It depends what current flows across 10 ohms. What is Vx? Now, if I take this as I1, okay. So Vx is the magnitude of Vx is, forget about direction. Magnitude of Vx is I1 into 10. Magnitude of Vx is I1 into 10. Okay. Now, if I change the value of I1, magnitude of Vx will change. How I can change the value of I1? I can add the value of or some resistance into the circuit. If I add one more resistance into the circuit, let this be 12 ohms, then the value of I1 automatically change. Then if the value of I1 changes, my voltage value Vx change. If the value of Vx change, the source value of this voltage source, so 2 into Vx will change. So the source value of this voltage source is continuously depending upon, or it is completely depending upon, the voltage across 10 ohms. Now, if there exists a source whose value depends upon some other circuit parameter in the circuit, he is called a dependent source. Now, you may ask a question, sir, is there any possibility that there exists practically a dependent source? Because you haven't come across anything of that sort, is it? Whenever we say source, we always visualize about generators or batteries. These are the most commonly seen sources in our lives as an electrical engineer. Is it? Then where does these dependent sources come across? Dependent sources come across at every walk of our electrical life. Okay? I will show you a simple circuit. Now we can realize dependent source. Have you studied clamping circuits in your basic electronics? Did you come across clamping circuits? Yes? Anybody? Am I audible?
Going on, sir, not clamping.
Clamping circuits, you in basic you did not study.
No, sir.
Okay. But is it done in the class now in AEC?
Clipping is going on, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then we will not enter into clamping term. We will see at a fundamental level. Now, I have a source. Okay, circuit is visible. Now, when switch S is open, current flows only in the first loop. Is it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Current flows only in the first loop. Now, what is the value of voltage that will be present across 100 microfarad? Let this be VC. Now we know current flows only in this direction, so I have marked the polarity that way. Okay. Now what is the value of voltage VC? Simply apply KVL. Can I apply KVL? Because second loop is off. That is open circuit. I need not to worry now. Can I apply KVL here? Yes, pick up guys. Yes or no? Can I get the value of VC simply by application of KVL? I don't know what exact value it is. I want only a expression to find out VC. So if I apply KVL to this first loop, what I get? That is the I1. So 10 minus 5I1 minus VC is equals to 0. And what is VC equal to? 10 minus 5. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Simple application of KVL. Total voltage in a loop is 0. Yes? As per the definition of Kirchhoff's voltage law, total voltage present in the loop is 0. So total voltage is some algebraic sum. Putting it in a different term. So sum of all EMFs and voltage across each element are equal. So whatever the voltage I have of 10 volts, it will get distributed across 5 ohms and capacitor voltage. The sum of 5 ohm drop and capacitor voltage should be equal to 10 volts. Now capacitor cannot charge beyond 10 volts. Is it true? Assuming it doesn't have any charge at initial level. Will the capacitor charge beyond 10 volts? What is the maximum charging voltage of capacitor? Always less than 10 volts. Now if I connect a capacitor across the battery directly, this is visible, I think. Now what is VC? What is VC?
10 volt.
10 volts. Now I have added a resistor in between. Then that resistor will also demand some drop, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? It is simple. 10 volt is a parent. Capacitor is the only kit. So all the property made by the parent will go to the only kit. Now if there are two kits, the properties has to be divided proportionally or equally, depending upon their magnitude. Simple. KVL is applicable in our life also. The total amount of property gained by the parent is equal to the amount distributed or the property distributed across among all the kids. Simple. Huh? But it will not become 0. Please don't apply that way. If I take a algebraic sum, it should not become 0 because those are not operating opposite to each other. Now, all the voltage that is given by the source is gained by the capacitor because there is nobody else in between, but there is somebody else in between here. Okay. Now, this has gained some voltage. I will close the switch. Will this capacitor start discharging? Yes or no? It will not discharge in opposite direction because the potential of 10 volts battery is more than the potential of capacitor. But the moment I closed the switch, yes, R2 was having nothing across it, capacitor start discharging to R2. Now is capacitor acting like a source?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Momentarily, though momentarily, even if it happens only for 10 milliseconds, even for 10 milliseconds, is it happening? Is it operating as a source?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is operating as a source. But what is the value of this capacitor voltage depending upon? It is depending upon this value. Now, if I make this 15 ohm, will the value of VC changes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I make it as 115 ohms, will the value of VC again changes?
Yes, sir.
This is a dependent source. So I can realize this capacitor as a dependent source. Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the realization or understanding of a dependent source. Okay, independent source we already know. because the value of that independent source is independent of anything else in the circuit. But whereas the value of dependent source is completely depending upon the controlling parameter. Now, what is the controlling parameter of the source? Is the voltage across 10 ohms. If voltage across 10 ohms change, the source value of this dependent source will change. That is dependent source. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Others, is it clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Again, what types of dependent sources are there? We'll see in further sections. Now, am I clear up to this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Fine. So we shall move ahead. So next we'll see in particular independent sources and dependent sources. Okay. So let us not hurry in completing the contents of the syllabus, because like I told in the first lecture itself, this is one of the most fundamental subject in your entire engineering, and this is completely very much important for any competitive exams. Okay, so when we are looking into the things initially, let us look into the things comfortably. Once we get comfort in the course, then we can increase the pace. Now, in particular, we will look into independent voltage source or independent sources. Okay. In that, we will look into voltage source. Voltage source. Okay. So, how to represent the independent voltage source? So, I can represent independent voltage source in various ways. One representation we know already. These are the various voltage source representations. Okay. So, what is voltage source? Voltage source is a circuit element. Voltage source is a circuit element which is characterized by only voltage. Okay, which is characterized by only voltage. Okay, so voltage source is an element or circuit element characterized by its terminal voltage. Its terminal voltage. So, irrespective of the current flowing into it, with respect to magnitude or with respect to direction, the terminal voltage value will remain constant. That is independent voltage source. Already we have seen what is the meaning of independence in the sources. Okay, if the terminal voltage is constant, irrespective of the current flowing, that is independent voltage source. And voltage source is one which is characterized by the terminal voltage across it, irrespective of the magnitude of current flowing through it. Okay, so that is independent voltage source. Fine. So this is ideal voltage source. Again, we will come across ideal and practical voltage sources in forthcoming classes. Now we will see what is voltage source, what is current source. That's it. Okay. So this is voltage source, independent voltage source. Then I have current source. Okay. Independent current source. Okay. So independent current source, there is only one way of representing it. A circle, inside that arrow mark. The arrow mark indicates the direction of the current. So it can be like this, or the arrow mark can be downwards. So this is independent current source. Okay, ideal independent current source. Okay, so if the source values are represented in the circles, those are independent sources, either practical or ideal, but those are independent sources. Okay. For dependent source, we have other kind of representation. Okay, if the source are represented with a circle or this battery connection terminal, those are independent sources. So next are dependent sources. There are four kinds of dependent sources depending upon the control parameter. So control parameter is one, which is the quantity on which that source is depending upon, the value of that source is depending upon. Okay. Dependent sources. So there are four kinds of dependent sources. These are also known as controlled source. These are also known as controlled sources. The value of these sources are controlled by some other parameter in the circuit. Hence, these are known as controlled source. So now, the controlled sources are represented in the rhombus structure. If the source is represented by a circle, then it is a independent source. If the source is represented by a rhombus, it is a dependent source. And when you write, please don't change the shapes, because rhombus is not liking by you, you don't make it square. It doesn't hold any meaning. Everything what we draw in engineering has got meaning. Okay? In engineering drawing, you might have studied that drawing is the language of engineers. Actually, drawing is the language of engineers, not equations and all other things. Okay? So when you draw a circuit element, make sure that you are using a proper circuit symbol. Okay? So if a source is represented using a rhombus, then that is a dependent source. Okay? Then a dependent source can be a voltage source and current source. Is it? Here I will write voltage source, dependent voltage source, okay, dependent voltage source. Now, when I say voltage source, inside rhombus, I will get a plus and minus sign. If it is a voltage source, positive and negative sign. If it is a current source, arrow mark sign. That is how you have to recognize the source. If there is arrow mark, it is a current source inside the circle or inside the rhombus. If there is polarity shown plus or minus, it is a voltage source inside the rhombus or circle or outside the rhombus or circle. Okay, so this is a voltage source. No doubt it is a voltage source. Now, the voltage source can be depending upon a, for example, voltage across any other element. A voltage, this is an voltage source which depends upon the voltage across any other element. Okay. Now let me call it as K into Vx. So what is Vx? Vx is voltage across other element. So the source value of this source is K into Vx. The value of this source is K into Vx volts, where Vx is the voltage across some other element. Voltage across some other element. Now, because this voltage source is controlled by some other voltage, it is called voltage controlled voltage source. Voltage controlled voltage source. The voltage value of this voltage source is controlled by voltage value of some other circuit element. Hence, it is called voltage controlled voltage source. Now, I may have another voltage source, dependent source only, plus, minus, okay, where the value of that voltage source depends upon current across some other element. The value of that voltage source depends upon current across some other element. Okay, then it is called current controlled current source. Current controlled current source. Okay, sorry, current controlled voltage source. Fine. This is a voltage source, but the value of this voltage source depends upon current through some other element. When we solve some circuits, you will get to know all these things. You just remember the names as of now. So it can be a current controlled voltage source. A voltage source which is a depending voltage source can be controlled by either current or voltage. If a depending voltage source or dependent voltage source is controlled by voltage, it is voltage controlled voltage source. If a dependent voltage source is controlled by current through some other circuit element, it is called current controlled voltage source. Similarly, what can be other two combinations? Yes? What can be other two combinations? Now, dependent current source. Yes, anybody? Now it is a current source. Now the value of this current source may be depending upon voltage across some other element. Now let this be N into Vx. This is a current source, but the value is depending upon some voltage. So what is this? What it is called?
Voltage controlled current source.
Voltage controlled current source. Exactly. It is voltage controlled current source. Okay, what is another possibility?
Current controlled current source.
There is a current source of whose value can be depending upon current through some other element in the circuit, in the same circuit I am talking about. So therefore it is now current controlled current source. So these are the only 4 combinations of dependent sources we will get. A dependent source can be voltage source, which is controlled by voltage. A dependent source can be voltage source, which is controlled by current. A dependent source can be a current source, which is controlled by voltage. A dependent source can be a current source, which is controlled by current. But all these controlling parameters are in some other parameters, some other elements. Okay, so this is all about your sources today. In the coming classes, I will give you small circuit examples for these 4 combinations. Okay, and then we will move into the source transformation, ideal sources and practical sources, and source shifting. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll end the session, today's session. You have a quiz ready at your end. You will get it at 10:25. Okay, and the submission due time is 10:35. Okay, it will not be extended today. Whoever will attend the quiz will get the attendance. Okay, so we'll end. You can attend the quiz now.
Thank you, sir.